Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another deal deep dive where we take a look at the numbers of all the investment deals that we're making, whether that's a flip or a buy and hold or a wholesale or anything we're doing to use real estate to make money. I'm going to do a video looking at a deep dive of the numbers, whether they're good or bad, and there are some that we actually lose money on. Maybe I should do a video on one of those from one of those past ones just so you can see that. But I know when I was getting started or before I got started and I wanted to do this, I like to see the real numbers that people were doing. So that's what I want to do with these videos, is show you the actual numbers and what they look like. And the deal I'm going to do today was a long-term buy and hold rental that we recently completed the full project on. Bought it back in June, and we just recently did the refinance on it, which I'll go over in a minute. But for this we use, and for almost all the rental properties that we buy, we use what's called the BRRRR method, BRRRR. 4 R's. And I believe Brandon Turner came up with this for bigger pockets. But basically what it stands for is buy, as in buy the property, rehab, fix it up, rent it out, refinance, which means take a new loan out on the property, and repeat, do it again. And again, this is how we do all our rentals. And what's so valuable about this is the traditional way to buy an investment property is you just get a mortgage when you buy the property, a regular mortgage. And with investment properties, typically you have to put anywhere from 20 to 30% down as a down payment. And that is based on the purchase price of the house, not the value of the house. Okay, so if you buy a house for $100,000, you're gonna have to put 70 to 80% or 20 to 30% of that down as a down payment. Even if the house was worth $200,000, you got a great deal on it. The bank is still gonna require you to put 20 to 30% of the actual purchase price. So you're gonna have a $20,000 to $30,000 down payment in that scenario, even though the house is worth $100,000 more than you bought it for. What's great about the BRRRR method is you're buying it up front with either cash or some type of hard money loan, a temporary loan that just lets you buy the house. And you're not getting the long-term loan on it until you rehab it and then get a renter in it. And why this is so valuable is because the lender in that situation is going to let you use the appraised value of the house, and you're going to get a loan for anywhere from 70 to 80% of that appraised value. So you could walk away not putting anything down or even getting money back, which is exactly what we did in this scenario and what we usually do in our BRRRR methods. So it's actually a really, really incredible way to do this, and there's a lot of benefits to doing that, which we'll go over here in a second. You got to have the right lenders that do this. There's a ton of lenders out there that have what they call a seasoning period, which means they won't refinance it until you've owned it for 6 months to a year. Our lender does not do that. Feel free to contact me if you want that lender's information. And you also have to have either the cash to do it or a good hard money or private lender on the front end so you can make this work. And again, I have a great one that we use, so I'd be happy to give you that information. Feel free to reach out. All right, so let's look at the specifics on this one. We bought this one in June. Courtney had found it on Facebook Marketplace. The guy was asking $65,000 for the house. It had a renter in it. The problem was it was his dad, and he was hoping that the new person would allow his dad to stay there for a little while. And his dad was paying well under market value. He's paying $700 a month, and the market rent here is $1,100 a month. So he wanted someone to do that and not raise his dad's rent on it. So he's asking $65,000. I went to go see it. We walked through it. And afterwards I said, hey, here's the deal. I will buy it for cash. No inspections, no appraisals. I will close in 2 weeks. And I will keep your dad in there for up to 1 year and will not raise his rent. I'll keep it at $700 a month. What price will you be willing to go if I do that? And he came back with $48,000. I counted $45,000, and we struck a deal. All right, so here, let's pull up the numbers here. And again, this property didn't need much. That was the beauty of this place. Here's the before of it. It just basically had overgrown landscaping, right? And the front porch was falling apart. So you can see the afters here. We took care of that landscaping. We built a new porch, and that's basically all we did to it because I already had a tenant inside. The inside was in pretty good condition. All right, so looking at the numbers here, again, the purchase price was $45,000. The loan fees, and this covers both the short-term hard money loan we got to buy it and the long-term loan to refinance it on the back end. Those only came out to $3,839.35. That's super low. Part of it's because it was only a $45,000 house. Part of it is because we have two very good lenders who keep their costs very low for us. the closing costs. And so keep in mind, when we buy these, we're paying the seller's closing costs as well. And these can include the closing costs when you refinance it, which they add onto those as well. They're much cheaper because they had just done it for you a few months before. All right, but these closing costs, $2,376.85, very low cost. And again, it's because we have 2 title companies that we work with over and over and over again, so they give us very good deals on these. Okay, so you want to form these relationships. Finally, the rehab costs. Again, all we did, we cut down the landscaping, cut down the trees, cleaned that all up, and then we built a new front porch. Came out to $3,800 total. So all in on this property, we were $55,016.20. It appraised after we bought it for $95,000. Okay, so we instantly had $40,000 of equity. And then our lender gave us 70% of the appraised value, 70% of that $95,000. So they were willing to lend us $66,500, even though we only had $55,000 into it, which means our net cash in the deal, meaning our own money that we brought to this deal, was negative $11,483.80. And that negative means we not only didn't put cash in, they gave us cash. Okay, so we walked away with almost $11,500 of cash from buying this property. And I don't know how exactly you calculate the return on investment when you are getting cash out of the deal instead of putting cash in the deal, but I think it's infinite. Okay, and here's the beauty of this. That $11,500, it's technically income to us because we're getting that money, all right, but we pay no taxes on it because it's a loan. And if you're doing this right, which we'll go over the rental numbers here in a minute, the rent is paying for that loan. So it doesn't matter that you're taking out additional money as long as it still cash flows. Okay, so this was an incredible deal from that perspective, but how does it look like on the rental side of things? So let's pull up those numbers here. And you can see that the market rent is going to be $1,100. Again, right now we're renting it for $700 a month, but once that guy moves out in June, as of now, the market rent's $1,100. Our mortgage payment is $491.70. Our monthly taxes are $58.33, and our monthly insurance is $52. So our total fixed costs, meaning if that doesn't include like unexpected maintenance that comes up, but our total fixed cost is $602.03, and our total monthly cash flow is almost $500 a month, $497.97. All right, so even if the $700 a month is still cash flowing almost $100 a month, but once we get him out and get it up to market rent, our cash flow will be almost $500 a month. So even with pulling that cash out and getting cash in our pockets from it, it still has a huge monthly cash flow. And this is exactly why we like the BRRRR method. We get to have no money into it. We get to actually pull money out of it, and it's still a deal that offers us really good cash flow. And you hear a lot of people right now, if they've heard of the BRRRR method, they're saying it's not possible with interest rates this high because you can't cash flow enough to make the cash out refi work. Well, as you can see, you absolutely can in the right scenario. This loan was at 7.75%, which is slightly under what most people are getting. Again, we have a great relationship with this lender, so he made that work for us. But we're getting this all the time where we make this work. And here's the even better part about it. That rate is temporary. At some point, whether it's a year from now or 5 years from now, rates will come back down. It all cycles. Eventually, they'll come back down. Probably never to what we've seen before, not for a long, long time. But let's say they get down to 5% in a couple years. We simply refinance the property again, and now our mortgage payment goes down significantly. In the meantime, the market rents went up, so our cash flow keeps going up, 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 because our rent goes up, our costs go down. Okay, so this was a home run of the deal. We love the BRRRR method. If you're at all interested in going this route, please reach out to us. My contact information will be below. You can also check out our Instagram. But we have all the information here. If you're interested in doing this, especially in the Central Ohio market, we would love to help you find a deal and see how this can work. Or anywhere in the U.S. or basically anywhere in the world, we have contacts that we work with that can help you find this deal. So this was a great one. We actually have another BRRRR that we're actually finishing up 3 different BRRRRs right now. We're almost have one complete, so I'll have the numbers for that. It looks like it'll be another really good one. Cash flow even more than this, and pull out a little bit less money, but still no money into it. So we'll have that one coming up next. But hopefully this was helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can see all our future deals, and we will see you next time.